Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining today's webinar, Women at the Forefront, FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. We are delighted to have a live global for this very special event on International Women's Day 2022. My name is Hamad Al-Thani, and I'm the Managing Director at the US-Qatar Business Council Doha office. For this year's Women's Day celebration, USQBC has partnered with the Commercial Attache's office, the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, the Association of Women in International Trade, to host this important discussion. In today's special event, we have a distinguished panel of women who excel in their fields and have contributed to advancing the country's economic and sustainability initiatives. They will share their professional journey with the audience and discuss the impact their key roles have had not only on sports, but also on women in Qatar and the region. Our webinar today will focus on the indispensable role played by women in the economic landscape of Qatar, which includes sports. Their participation has not only led to substantial economic growth, but has simultaneously empowered women from all walks of life to take an active role in the advancement of their country's prosperity, as well as their personal professional goals. Through the Qatar National Vision 2030, Qatar has put a large emphasis on the effective participation of women in the country's labor force. The Qatar Second National Development Strategy, 2018-2022, addresses how taking advantage of highly educated Qatari women is central to the country's transition to a knowledge-based economy. The government of Qatar has empowered women in the country through access to education, economic participation, and career opportunities, supporting growth and development. Qatar has a 59% female labor participation rate, which is above the global average and is the highest in the Arab world. In addition to actively promoting female participation in the workforce, Qatar has also made strides to combat change to reduce the carbon footprint of the FIFA World Cup. It has not only created structure and facilities, but also made an effort towards promoting sustainability initiatives based on innovation and technology. This technology works with the design of the stadiums in mind by making them more efficient and environmental friendly. Today's webinar will celebrate the role of women in leadership positions who are tackling the professional and sporting world. Their work has inspired many and will surely leave behind an outstanding legacy. Please allow me to commence today's Women's Day event and turn it over to our event moderator for the day, Ms. Kelly Anshaw.
Good afternoon and good evening, everyone, from wherever in the world you are joining us. And thank you so much, Sheikha, for the introduction. My name is Kelly Anshaw, and I'm a partner at the law firm of Hogan Lovells. I have a decade of diplomatic, career, and political government experience, but I am here today in my capacity as a board member for Women in International Trade, or WIIT, which was founded in 1987 by a group of 20 women in Washington, D.C. who felt the weight of the glass ceiling and wanted to do something about it. WIIT's mission is to promote the professional advancement of women in international trade and business and to raise public awareness of the importance of international trade to economic development. WIIT does this through professional development opportunities, educational opportunities, and social activities for professional networking. I'm proud to serve on the board because of opportunities like the one that we have today, not only to celebrate the advancement of women in trade, but to celebrate women all over the world in a variety of fields. WIIT is absolutely delighted to partner with the US-Qatar Business Council, the Embassy, and the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy. And I want to recognize the following VIP individuals who are here today to support this exciting event. Fahad El-Dosari, Emily Beline, Natalie Baker, and Andres Hayes. Thank you very much for being here to support this exciting panel. Today, March 8th, is International Women's Day, which has been celebrated around the globe since 1914. It was officially recognized by the United Nations in 1975, and it celebrates the global social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The advancement of women isn't just about equality or human rights or simply because it's the right thing to do. It's also about policies that advance the economics and national security interests of our countries. Countries that give women the ability to hold jobs, to own land, access to capital, and to equally participate in their economies are more prosperous. In fact, a McKinsey report that many of you will be familiar with from a few years ago found that advancing women's equality in terms of economic participation could add $12 trillion to global GDP. And countries that allow women to participate equally in their economies are also less likely to go to war. That's why when I served in the prior administration, it was a key component and a prerogative of US national security strategy. And both the Secretaries of Defense and the National Security Advisor placed tremendous resources on initiatives related to the advancement of women. In addition to celebrating International Women's Day, we are also celebrating 50 years of US-Qatar diplomatic relations. The US-Qatar relationship is both longstanding and important with respect to economic, military, and national security interests. I had the pleasure of meeting and working with many Qatari government officials over the course of my own government service. Qatar is viewed as a key ally and friend of the United States. For these reasons, I am pleased to be here with you today to talk about the World Cup, which we are all very excited about, but even more importantly, the strides that Qatar has made and is making towards advancing women in business and in sport. We have quite the treat for you today, featuring some of the most prominent women involved in business surrounding the organization of the upcoming FIFA World Cup tournament, including key legacy and sustainability projects. But to get you in the mood and in the spirit of the upcoming event, here is a sneak peek of one of the many unique sustainable stadiums that will be used for the World Cup. The venue, built out of 974 shipping containers, can be completely dismantled after the tournament and rebuilt abroad. With that, we will play a video momentarily. All right, it is my pleasure this morning or afternoon to introduce you to your panel, which includes a very impressive and dynamic group of female leaders leading and participating in economic development and sustainability initiatives in Qatar. So first, on the panel this morning, we have Fatma Al-Nuaimi, who is the Communications Executive Director for the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy. We have Bodour Al-Meer, who is the Sustainability Director, also with the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy. And then from the private sector, we have Lana Khalaf, who is the General Manager of Microsoft Qatar. So with that, I would like to start by opening up the discussion for all of the panelists with a broad question about the economic development and diversification of Qatar. Focusing on the World Cup, which has focused and fast-tracked Qatar's economic diversification, all of the three panelists have played a key role in this transformation. So I would like to throw open to the panelists, what are some of the key milestones that you've witnessed take place in Qatar, both personally and professionally? And where do you see the country's development headed in the next 10 years? I'll start with Fatma.
Hi, everyone, and thank you actually for having me today to be part of this panel alongside with amazing women. When it comes to me, like to the development, when we hosted the right to bid, we know like the power of sports and how it's transformative to nations. So with Qatar Vision 2030, when it comes to economic diversification based on 4 pillars, which is sustainable, environmental, social, economical, and human, we made sure when we won the bid in 2010 that the World Cup will be acting as an accelerator to make sure that the country ambitious plan for 2030 can actually be fast-tracked and accelerate when it comes to all of these development. Because for us, this tournament is not only 1 month of an event, it's more than that. And we can see like the true legacy of transforming the nation, building the communities, making sure and learning from previous host nations when it comes to the legacy of these tournaments, because whether it's a hard legacy or like a softer legacy, because at the end of the day, we don't want to leave white elephants. I mean, and that's what's actually, we made it sure, I mean, like to come up with a lot of initiatives to ensure the sustainability of this tournament.
Bodour, I would love for you to comment on the same question.
Thank you, Kelly. Hello, everyone. Actually, thank you for this question. We've always used the World Cup as an opportunity for positive change in Qatar and in the region. It was very important for us that the legacy that the World Cup will leave behind, so whether socially, environmentally, economically, etc. Even though we have used the World Cup as a catalyst, as Fatma has mentioned, to accelerate our national development goals, in my opinion, Qatar started to change and transform more than 20 years ago. I will give some examples from my experience. In the oil and gas industries, Qatar signed the Kyoto Protocol back in 2005. It is an international agreement for the first time to put targets and measures to combating the climate change. In 2015 as well, Qatar was part of the negotiation of the Paris Agreement. We've also participated in COP26 back in November 2021, where FIFA has signed the pledge committing on achieving net zero carbon emission by 2040. In this edition of the World Cup, we will be the first ever to host a fully carbon neutral tournament. We've also seen the growth of new businesses such as dairy, meat, vegetables. We also have now sustainable solution industries such as solar powers and sustainable packaging, as well as business growth in the recycling sector. The second part of your question, in 10 years from now, inshallah, I think my country will amaze the world with a new achievement in different sectors. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lana, as the private sector panelist, I'm curious about your views about where Qatar has come and where you see it going in the next 10 years in terms of economics.
Thank you, Kelly. First, it's a pleasure to be with you on this panel, and happy International Women's Day for all the women across the globe. Definitely, as Microsoft, I will talk about it professionally and personally because I think it has a personal aspect as well. As Microsoft, definitely one of the key pillars we have supported the country with, especially Supreme Committee, is what FIFA have affected coming to Qatar is actually making Qatar a digital hub for the world. And this is where Microsoft is bringing our global data center to Qatar in order to enable sustainability, resiliency, and an innovative FIFA to deliver amazing for all fans across the globe coming to Qatar and every person that will experience FIFA in Qatar, whether virtually, whether physically. We're hoping that technology will transform this experience, utilizing the latest and greatest technology from artificial intelligence to many others. So this is how we focused on economy. We see it driving a digital economy. We have done a study with IDC where we saw the impact of bringing this data center and empowering the nation digitally. We see an impact of $3.14 billion over the economy, for the economy in Qatar over the next 5 years for the ecosystem, which is a major implications on the economy. I think 10 years ahead, we will see Qatar as a digital hub and a data hub for many international companies worldwide. And we are actually, because of the investments many of the private sector have done, and Microsoft particularly have done a major investment in that, we see all our global partner ecosystem coming to host in Qatar to power the digital nation, not only for Qatar, for the region and globally. So definitely a huge aspiration for the country to enable Qatar Vision 2030. And we think with this investment, really Microsoft is contributing to this. Personally, I think it is an amazing experience to be living in this country and be part of this amazing learning experience. We have learned a lot. We have an experience, we will do it once in a lifetime, where we are living and contributing to hosting one of the World Cup games, FIFA games, which is a major event globally. And also, to be honest, not only for me, the team and everybody living in Qatar, it's an amazing experience to be living it, seeing it, having it as a learning experience for all of us, and being part of this pre, during, and after. So we're very honored and proud to be part of this.
Thank you so much. So Fatma, I'd like to drill down a bit more on the impacts of the World Cup on Qatar's economy. And I'm wondering if you could speak specifically to what industries and sectors have benefited from preparations and will benefit from the legacy opportunities.
Yeah, when it comes, to the preparation of the tournament, we were required actually to build 8 stadiums. So what we want to make sure, when we build these stadiums, is how these stadiums will be benefiting the country. For example, we don't need that much of a capacity of the stadium. We don't need 40,000 seater capacity when it comes to the demand of the local demand. So what we made sure actually of how we can, first, when we selected the location of the stadiums, we made sure to actually do a consultation to the community around it. So we visited the community, we talked to them, we wanted to see what's actually that is required from that community and the neighborhood to complement them. So a lot of people have asked that they needed more medical services, more schools, more commercial units that is required. And you can see each stadium have a specific plans. Just we planned it right ahead before, to know exactly how this will be transformed. So each stadiums, for example, we will be removing the upper tiers. So taking a stadium of 40,000 seat capacity, it will be reduced to 20,000 seat capacity. And within this upper tier, this is where the different components will be embedded within the stadium. More commercial units. It would be the home of sporting federations. It will be medical services, and some of the stadium, it will be the home of some schools as well, and commercial units. So this is, how we can actually make design into effective, and learning from previous World Cup, where they actually built infrastructure and it became later on operational burden on the country itself. And when it comes to the software legacy, we have actually launched a couple of vision initiatives. We didn't want to wait until the tournament in 2022 to start and to get the benefits out of this legacy. So we do have a program called Generation Amazing that actually uses the power of football to drive social change. This program operates in more than 10 countries. There is an educational curriculum, and we do build football pitches as we see how football can actually impact the lives of those people. And this program started since the bid in 2009, and today we have around 750,000 beneficiaries of these programs, from young adults, girls and boys. And when it comes to the human capital investment of this project, we actually made sure, or what we have seen, a lot of international events actually capitalize on international talents. And all of these people actually, they move from one event to another as it moves to different host nations. So we want to see how we can actually, and part of Qatar vision is to build a knowledge-based economy, how we can actually retain a lot of these talents and making sure that this knowledge stays here within Qatar and within the region. So we established Jusur Institute 2013, where we deliver a lot of educational courses and certify people with diploma when it comes to different discipline of the sporting industry, because we do want to build a sporting industry ecosystem in Qatar. And this course differs whether from venue management, operational technology, marketing communications, the business of football. So, and we do have more than 5,000 graduates, and who actually do, some of them do work with us within the Supreme Committee, and some of them actually who came from the region and got that knowledge and go back to their countries to help in developing their entities. And as well as looking into other legacy program, we do have as well Challenge 22, we do believe that there's a lot of talents and innovators within the region, and using the power and the spotlight of the World Cup, it would be a good opportunity to shed the light into those individuals. So we launched this program and we asked the innovators and entrepreneurs to submit their concepts under each themes, like whether it's sustainability, tourism, health and safety, and how they can actually be part of this World Cup. And we provide the support to them by providing the winners with a grant fund up to $100,000. They would be working with incubators here in Qatar, like QSTP and Qatar Foundation. And what we give them is we become like their first client. So there is, like a lot of success stories when it comes, and we do have a lot of actually young businesses and startups who's working with us. And this is, like one of the true legacies that we have. And one of the actually as well, like the social legacy that we have of the World Cup, it's the worker welfare. The World Cup has really acted as an accelerator of doing a lot of, in accelerating the reforms that it comes when it comes to labors and worker welfare. And we can see, like the benefits and the transformative journey that is happening for the last 10 years when it comes to that. Like just to name a few of abolishing the kafala law, introducing the new minimum wage within the region. Also the ease, free of ease between like the exit to the country, and people can now changing jobs. So it has always been like part of the national vision when it comes the worker welfare since 2008. But like the benefit of the World Cup have been accelerated to fast pace the legal reforms of such laws. And like this is like we see like in a nutshell like the benefits of it. But like even when it comes to other project that is not led by us, by the stakeholders, we can see like the expansion of the airport, upgraded expressway. We do have like a transport metro system that is up and running since 2019. This is all has been actually a fundamental plans of the country. But like the World Cup has accelerated that. So instead of achieving some of that in 2030, we have like a deadline of 2022 where we can actually achieve many of these plans. And we're expecting around 1.2 million visitors that will be coming from the event, which is as well going to be acting as a booster for the tourism. So we're actually working with all of the stakeholders here to make sure, there is a lot of varieties, there is a lot of cultural activities that people can do, which later on, and we can see the successful model that has been done by the previous edition of the World Cup, like Russia. A lot of people actually have returned to visit Russia after the World Cup, which boosted their tourism economy. So that's like in a nutshell, like some of the few examples that I can give when it comes to the benefits of the World Cup.
Well, that's terrific. You've certainly made the case for why this is a value proposition for Qatar, particularly in the sports and entertainment industry. But I'm wondering if there's anything else you want to add in terms of how, from your vantage point, the World Cup tournament has transformed the country's market value.
Yeah, when it comes, like to the, as you mentioned, to the market, we're hosting, like one of the biggest events. And there's a lot of, like investment that is happening. Like hosting such events attracted a lot of actually investment to be coming to the country and for a lot of people and big players to be part of such events. And also the visibility and the brand proposition. Like a lot of countries actually use, like have hosting such events actually contribute to the brand equity of the country and actually making it more and more, let's say, promoting it. For us, like when it comes to Qatar, like there is a lot of people, and we can see through our interaction with fans. A lot of people actually, they have a misperception and misconception about this part of the world when it comes to the Middle East. And I do believe like this is an opportunity for us. Like having 1.2 million fans coming, like this will be changing a lot of the perception and a lot of the stereotype that the people do see this part of the world. And I think this is like one of the strongest software legacy that Qatar would be achieving through this event.
Thank you. I want to turn back to Lana to talk a bit more about Microsoft and Microsoft's involvement in the World Cup preparations. You touched a bit on this in your opening remarks, but I'm wondering if you want to expand on how Microsoft has enhanced the scalability of Qatar in terms of World Cup preparations and legacy opportunities.
Of course. So Microsoft, we have learned, of course, we have used our global teams and global experience, whether the World Cup in Russia, the La Liga engagement, and many other sports events globally. And we wanted to deliver end-to-end solutions with, of course, Supreme Committee and the State of Qatar. And using our technology and the global data center that landed, that we announced in Qatar, our key goal was not only to deliver amazing technology on many projects that I will mention now, but also our main objective was to make sure we deliver sustainable and resilient projects. So whether from smart stadiums, where Microsoft is engaged in to enable smart stadiums, they're running on our Microsoft Cloud that is fully sustainable. It has 98% less CO2 emissions, zero waste, etc. So definitely we are contributing even from a technology to a sustainable FIFA. Utilizing the power of AI and technology to create a great experience for everyone in the stadium. We're working as well on the fan engagement and experience, whether the app, the identity, etc. And this is, we're working with Supreme Committee and our partners to deliver an amazing experience through that. And this is the app everybody will be using in the country. As well as Microsoft have invested in opening a support center in Qatar for mega events in order to support the Supreme Committee and the mega event of FIFA in the country, to stop cyber attacks, to ensure there is no hiccups, to make sure that everything is running as smooth as possible, and to make sure we deliver an amazing event from technology, not only from an experience. And this is how we're contributing as Microsoft to that. The nice story about this, we're not doing this for the event. This is, we're making sure that this is a sustainable and really enabling sustainability, not only from environment, but a sustainable solution. So this means all the solutions that we're developing are solutions that Qatar can redeploy and FIFA can redeploy in other countries. Not only that, all of them will be utilized for major other events in the country as well. So this is why the data center in the country is creating this IP or this marketplace for all the solutions that we're developing within Qatar.
Thank you so much. And you touched on this as well, but I'd love to give you the opportunity to highlight any other initiatives that Microsoft is doing to support the country's diversification and initiatives.
Of course, we're focusing mainly on digital transformation. So what Microsoft is really interested in, not only because, as you see, every company is turning to be a digital company or a digital company at the end. And what we're doing is we want to make sure that everybody is enabled with the right technology, the right skillings, the right empowerment in order to digitize and really achieve this digital transformation in each industry, whether from health, transportation, smart cities, sports, education, every single energy, every single industry. And what we're doing is we're not saying digitization is what you're doing today, just do it automated. No, digitization is about reinventing the industry and really doing things differently. Using technology, and it's about what technology should do to you, not what can technology do to you. And this is where Microsoft is focusing heavily on a digital transformation efforts across every pillar. Like we're part of TESMO Smart City, we're part of the health initiatives, we're part of the education, learning management system, and many others that are really contributing to the innovation and real transformation of key industries in the country.
Thank you. I want to turn to Bodour to talk about sustainability, given her role as Sustainability Director, and specifically the role of sustainability in Qatar's Vision 2030. So how do you think that Qatar has impacted the way future countries will deploy sustainability? goals supporting entertainment and sports, and what are some of the key climate change mitigation measures that the Supreme Committee and you in your role are looking at?
Well, we are very proud of our first ever joint sustainability strategy between the host country and the FIFA. Our sustainability strategy is totally aligned with our Qatar National Vision 2030, as well as the United Nations SDGs. Therefore, we believe that our strategy will be used as a blueprint document for future sporting events. I believe this World Cup is landmark in sustainability. There are many areas where we are setting the benchmark on sustainability. However, I would like to give you a few examples on this. Stadiums infrastructure. All of our stadiums are having 3 different types of green building or sustainable building certification. One in design and build, and one in construction management, and one in operations. None of the previous World Cup has sustainability certifications for all the venues, for all life cycle stages. The second example is, as I have mentioned earlier, that this will be, inshallah, the first fully carbon neutral World Cup. FIFA did offset for their carbon emissions in previous World Cup, but in this edition of the World Cup, all the emission will be offsetted from host country and from the FIFA. This will be a great achievement. The third example is waste. I'd like to share with you one achievement that we have achieved during the Arab Cup. We have achieved 100% diversion of waste from the landfill, with 70% recycling rate in one stadium and 44% recycling rate in the remaining 5 stadiums. The second part of your question, Kelly, what are some of the climate change mitigation measures? In order to reach the carbon neutrality goal, we have had 5-step plan. One of the steps is mitigation. The compact nature of the tournament helped us a lot in avoiding the emission that is coming from the air travels. Also through our energy efficient stadiums, our stadiums reduce the energy consumption by 30 to 40%. It reduces also the water consumption by 40%. We are using also environmentally friendly transportation. Around 25% of the buses that will be used during the tournament will be electric buses.
Thank you. We certainly look forward to seeing this play out in the coming months. They are very exciting goals, and thank you so much for your work on that. I want to turn to a slightly different topic now, and I think one that certainly interests me and will interest a lot of the viewers of this webinar. Excuse me, and that's on stereotypes and the role of women, particularly in putting together this massive tournament. So this is for all of the panelists, and I'll go back in order, starting with Fatma, but I want to give you all a chance to opine on this. So women, just like yourselves, have been handling leadership positions both in the public and private sectors in Qatar. From your perspectives, to what extent did the World Cup support changing the world stereotypes about Middle Eastern women? And then I'd be interested in your views on women in putting this tournament together.
I mean, like, as I mentioned previously, I mean, like, the power is sports and football do have a transformative power when it comes. So looking back at in 2006, when Qatar actually hosted the Asian Games, you can see, I mean, like, during that time, before that tournament, there is not too many people in the sports industry. But we can see, like, from the Asian Games, how that's actually transformed, and having women started to actually go into, like, the sporting industry. And within this decade, I mean, there is a lot of, let's say, over 600 international events that has been hosted. And you can see it is growing. I mean, like, the women participation in organizing these events has been gradually growing. And when it comes to the World Cup, I mean, we do have, I mean, a lot of women actually in a leadership position and in a different discipline. So for me, I mean, like, just to name a few, for example, our legal counsel is actually a woman for the tournament. The Deputy General Director for Event Services is a woman. We have, Bodour, who's leading the sustainability initiatives for this tournament. And as well, we do have a lot of women when it comes to technology, to the venue operations, as well engineers who helped and design and build these stadiums. So, the participation of women have really evolved. And I think that all goes back since in 1995, when Her Highness Sheikha has opened the door for a lot of women. And the key to that is actually investing in education. Because previously, women would go to not limited, but usually would go to these type of sectors, whether it's the education sector or the healthcare sector. But investing in education, opening a lot of different colleges and providing a lot of opportunities for young girls to actually go whether in industrial engineering or opening, to be in engineering and legal, having legal careers. And so, investing in education and having, these women growing into different sectors and later on going into the workforce, this is, have opened the door for a lot. And it really made a lot of women dreams come true. They can actually achieve and fulfill their dreams. So for us, we can see as well, which I do believe it's our responsibility, being, women in senior positions as well, to inspire generation to come. And I can see, when it comes to women, more than 50% of my team is actually women. And it's our responsibility as well, to see how they can be actually involved in a lot of stuff. And you can see, the inspiration that they would have, that they can actually achieve. There is actually no glass ceiling. And I don't think this is only on women to support other women. I do believe as well, this is a responsibility on men's too. And we have been lucky enough that the leadership of our organization has always been supportive of women. And we always have a seat on the table. We do have our voice. We get consulted and things. So having this right environment of men believing on the role that women can play and how they can actually contribute, do actually support a lot. And this is, our responsibility as well, to pass on for future generations. And this is what we're hoping, that the tournament actually would transform to more and more women to get involved into sports.
Thank you. I want to invite Lana to also participate.
Sure. First, I think the World Cup happening in Qatar is a great platform, an amazing platform to really showcase the Middle Eastern women and the amazing leaders of Qatari women that we also have. I think the action in itself, these leaders, the women leaders, the participation is a clear image to everybody coming to Qatar and to the world that women are leading some of these critical initiatives. And in sports, where sports you usually see it more male dominant, today I can see a lot of females into the sports. And to be honest, I really now believe sports is an international language. Me personally, I have learned a lot about sports because of this, because of my involvement. I have recruited many females that are leading even support and services for the World Cup in Qatar. So definitely having females part of this tournament and the face of some of these initiatives is a clear message to the world, what it means as a Middle Eastern woman, what can we do, what's the potential. And of course, it actually fixes the image and perception of what it means to be a Qatar female, a Middle Eastern female, or a female in the Arab world, which is something definitely is needed, because there's a lot of misperceptions on that big time. We also, as Microsoft, of course, embrace digital inclusion, diversity and inclusion by all means. And this is where we also focus on whether internally in Microsoft, we have a huge diversity that includes also female diversity, but also we're launching programs for women, whether in technology, whether in sports, whether in many other areas where we don't see females' participation, in order to increase the equity of females and their impact, as you said, the $12 trillion impact on the GDP because of the female participation.
Thank you. Bodour, I'm very interested in your views on this topic as well.
Well, we have, I'd like to mention that we have so many inspiring Qatari female leaders. I strongly believe that Her Highness Sheikha is the role model for most of us in Qatar, and for me personally. She's very intelligent, well-educated, and elegant. She has a huge part in my country's development and transformation. She is the vote for women, the encouragement of women to study and to work and to take control of their lives. As Fatma said, that she has opened the door for Qatari females to handle leadership positions in the country. I mean, in Qatar, we have female ministers, we have female members in the Shura Council, and many more in the sports sector, as my colleague Fatma mentioned. Again, I would say that the World Cup helped in shedding the light on changing the world's stereotype of Middle Eastern women. However, women in Qatar have started to handle the leadership positions way before we won the right to host the World Cup.
Thank you. Now, pivoting a bit more specifically to sports in general, Fatma, I want to follow up on some of the comments that you made, and it was very interesting to see that there are women in key positions within the Supreme Committee, but I'm wondering if you could elaborate on the steps that the Supreme Committee has taken to increase women's interest in sports, which, as we all know, is predominantly a male industry, not only in Qatar, but in the region and globally.
Yeah, I mean, like, this goes back to the legacy programs that I have mentioned earlier. So there is a lot of, actually, like, if I take, for example, Generation Amazing, and using the power of sport to educate people and provide them with life skills, long life skill set. So for us, I mean, like, with a lot of parts of the countries, like, for example, in countries like Pakistan, and we worked on areas where girls were not allowed to actually play football, and you can see, I mean, like, the transformative change of football, where we do have, I mean, like, a lot of success stories where women actually established their first league and they were allowed to actually play football, and how actually this community has transformed. When it comes as well, like, to the education and with the Jusur Institute, I mean, like, we do have, I mean, a lot of actually females enrolled in the program and who actually have been certified and completed and invested in their education to actually join the sporting industry. It also go back to the legacy program when it comes to Challenge 22. I mean, today, actually, earlier, I was meeting with one of the winners who have been working with us for the last 2 years. And, you know, like, when it comes, especially when it comes to startup and women, this is, I mean, like, one of the focus that we want to actually encourage people to go to. I know, like, when it comes to being a private sector and entrepreneur, you will face a lot of challenges, but this is, I mean, like, our role when it comes to support. And I mean, like, luckily, many of these programs actually women, and we're providing them with the support that they would need to establish their business and to make sure, I mean, like, by the time that the World Cup is here and the fans are here, their business up and running and they're getting the benefits and the return of investment of their ideas. Also, like, the internship opportunities that we're providing within the Supreme Committee, the partnership that we have with a lot of universities here, whether in Qatar Foundation or Qatar University, we do have a lot of actually opportunities that we encourage a lot of participation for people to join us, work and adapt, and making sure that the knowledge transfer that we have working, I mean, with a lot of international organizations is being actually transferred to the people here locally in the market. So there is, I mean, like, if I would look at the numbers of women actually participating in our projects, it's really impressive number, which is, I mean, like, I'm hoping, I mean, like, as a legacy of it, it will increase more and more, and we will keep the momentum of engaging a lot of women.
So, Lana, I want to turn back to you from the private sector's perspective. You mentioned in some of your opening comments about Qatar becoming a digital hub in the future. And I'm wondering if you could talk about the role of Microsoft in developing women in the STEM field.
Sure. Actually, part of the being a digital hub, it's not only about technology, and it's all about people. And this is definitely very much highlighted in Qatar Vision 2030 and created a knowledge economy, sustainability and resiliency, and creating a talent pool for the country to make sure this country is sustainable and resilient for years to come. And this is where Microsoft focus on. Yes, we're bringing the latest and greatest technology to Qatar, a global data center that will empower Qatar as a digital hub, but also we're launching the biggest digital center of excellence to empower everyone, from students and youth to professionals, to leaders, to developers, to women. Every segment in the country and every person in the country, we're enabling them on a digital skilling. And as Fatma said, a lifelong learning. And this is a key journey. So we're enabling journeys, not only training and getting certification. No, Microsoft is actually investing in this digital center of excellence in partnership with the government, is to empower a journey track. So what are the future jobs of the future? How can we enable more women in technology? What can we do? So we created a track, special tracks for females, special tracks for artificial intelligence and data science, special tracks for cybersecurity, special tracks for leaders with key universities globally like INSEAD, HSE Paris, MIT, and Microsoft. So we have global leaders in education that is helping us deliver this in Qatar to ensure we build this knowledge economy and literally enable digital skilling for all. And this is a key initiative and a really powerful initiative we're doing in the country, because we see the power is the people and technology is only the means. So definitely, other than that, we have different programs for women in specific for STEM at earlier age, like DigiGirls for women in schools, so that we empower them digitally and and really help them go into the digital track or the technology track. We also have, we're working with Injaz Qatar and Injaz Al-Arab in order to enable women technopreneurs. And of course, we're enabling many of the startups that are powered and enabled by females.
Thank you. I want to switch topics, given the time we have left, to focus a bit on the regional impacts of the World Cup tournament. So Qatar is the Arab world's first FIFA World Cup host, which means the legacy that Qatar is leaving behind will be significant, not just for Qatar, but for the region as a whole. I want to turn to Fatma to talk a bit about this. What are some of the key takeaways the world can expect from this first Middle East tournament?
For us, we always have said that this is World Cup of first. It's actually the first time happening in the Arab world. It's the first time in the Middle East. And we're expecting around 1.2 million fans that will be coming, and it will actually help in changing the perception. I mean, looking at the Middle East, it's always like whenever it comes in the media or it comes when people talk about, it always has been misunderstood, and it always will be coming in a negative way. So for us, I think that this will be an opportunity for a lot of people who will be, it's their first time to be actually visiting an Arab country and the Middle East. And this is what we care actually to showcase, the Arab hospitality and stuff. And even when we do plan our activities and even like turning Qatar into one huge festival, we want to make sure that there is a representation of all the Arab communities in the Middle East when it comes to the activities, when it comes to the fan zones or the cultural activations, that we actually represent the whole Arab region and not only Qatar. Because I mean, like, this is what we're actually trying to reflect and to pass on. And when it comes to as well, like the economical impact of hosting this event to the region, other than the legacy initiatives that I have mentioned, as always, there is like an economical benefit. I mean, looking at previous countries, whether it's like Russia or Brazil, it's a big continent where there is a lot of people need to fly in internal flights, 4 hours, 5 hours to attend a match, to follow their team. But when it comes to Qatar, this is going to be like the first compact nature due to this geographical size of Qatar, which means people will actually be staying at the same hotel throughout the tournament. Means they don't need to fly, and they can spend more time actually in exploring the country, and not only the country. So if you imagine between cities in Russia or Brazil, people have to take a flight 5 hours. Actually, in 3-4 hours, you can actually explore different parts of the world. People can actually fly to India, which is 4 hours away, or they're gonna go to Egypt, 3 hours away, or they're gonna go to any country within the Arab region within the rest days until the next game of their teams. So this is gonna be like a big opportunity that can provide economical benefits to countries around Qatar, where they can actually attract as well fans to visit them while their time here in Qatar.
Thank you. I want to touch now a bit on sustainability in the region, and I'm wondering if Bodour, you can talk about the ways in which Qatar's World Cup will impact the region's integration of sustainability initiatives. You mentioned quite a few that the government of Qatar was undertaking as part of the tournament, but very interested in your views on the regional impact of those initiatives.
Sustainability is one of the most pressing issues the world is facing now. Sustainability program is the key for this. Hosting the World Cup in Qatar is part of delivering the Qatar national vision, and the Qatar national vision really sets a blueprint of sustainable development. With this being the overall objective, it was very important to us to include strong sustainability commitment in the bid. We are doing a lot of things and a lot of firsts in this World Cup, and we are setting the bar very high. And as any sport, records are made to be broken. So we are looking forward to see who can beat us in the future in terms of sustainability.
Terrific. I quickly want to pivot back to the tournament and to talk about the fan zones. So Fatma, the World Cup is set to be a welcoming environment for men and women from across the world. You talked about how close some of the fans will be in terms of travel. Several of the facilities, which are known as fan zones, will be available to visitors. Can you tell us a bit more about them?
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to the fan zone, we want to make sure as well it's like it should be like a family friendly, and family friendly is like one of the values that we operate on under, I mean, like for this tournament. So we want to make sure that like the entertainment that is there is catered for everyone, and to make it more inclusive, even when it comes to inclusivity, when it comes to like family, and not to have like, because a lot of perception would be like football is for men, and because it's a men's tournament, I mean, like this might be like only the target audience. So we want to make sure, I mean, like there is we are catering for every fans, and there is something for everyone. So we're actually having planned in prime locations in Qatar where the fan zone will be hosted. Also, as well, like I mean, like speaking of Al-Corniche, which probably many of you know, Al-Corniche will be closed, and it will be becoming a pedestrian area, and there will be, I mean, a lot of big festivities happening across the 8 kilometers of Al-Corniche. So Qatar will be turning into like one giant festival hub, and we're working closely with the cultural sector in Qatar, with the Ministry of Culture, with Qatar, with all of with Musharraf, with all of the Qatar Foundation, all of this entity, to make sure, I mean, like all of these activities and the fan zone and the fan entertainment is across the country. Also inclusive, like not only inside the stadiums as well, also outside the stadium for the last mile, where people, as they're walking to the stadiums, they can actually enjoy a lot of the cultural activities that is happening. And I mean, like in due course, we will be announcing with FIFA more information about the fan zone and the fan fest. But I mean, like in a nutshell, I mean, like this is the type of activities, because I mean, like looking at Qatar, it will be a very heavy calendar. I mean, having 4 matches a day. And later on within these times or within the rest days, we want to make sure, I mean, like fans are entertained, where they can actually enjoy the fan zone, the fan fest, and as well as explore the country, going to Sea Lion, going to the desert, enjoy the beach. So we're trying to have alternative and different products for fans to enjoy their experience.
Thank you. I think you are helping to get the viewers very excited about the tournament moving forward. I, for one, certainly am. But we're running short on time. This has been an amazing conversation. So I want to just go around to each of the panelists and give them an opportunity to provide any concluding remarks. I will mix it up a bit by starting with Lana and then Bodour, followed by Fatma.
I would like to thank you, Kalia, and thank Fatma, Bodour, and all, and of course, Sheikha, Mayas, and everybody who contributed to this event. I think what I have heard as well is that females can really do anything across any industry and across anything they would like to do and they have put their mind to do. So I just want to wish everybody a happy International Women's Day, and I hope this day is every day across the year, not just today. So wishing you an amazing years ahead, and looking forward to not only Qatar to host, but us as well to host everybody in Qatar.
Bodour, I'd love to offer you the opportunity for any concluding remarks.
I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of this webinar, and it's been a pleasure to be in this webinar with such inspiring ladies, Lana, Fatma, Sheikha Mays as well. And I would like to wish everyone a happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
And to Fatma.
For me, I mean, like, I would like actually thank you and thank everyone to provide us with this platform to actually discuss things when it comes related to women empowerment and women in leadership position as well, and highlighting the women's role when it comes to the tournament, when it comes to the preparation of the tournament. And I actually welcome everyone to enjoy by the end of this year. I mean, like, one of the biggest events, and I know like everybody have a key role to play when it comes, whether it's another with the government sector, private sector, even individuals and communities that are here living in Qatar. I mean, like, you'll all be playing an instrumental role of welcoming and hosting this events with us. So thank you everyone for your contribution.
Thank you so much to all the panelists. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the organizers and hosts as well. So Sheikha Mays, thank you so much. The US-Qatar Business Council, the Supreme Committee, the Embassy, and then I will give my thanks on behalf of my own organization, WIIT, for all of the work in putting this together. I hope that by showcasing these three panelists, that this was well worth everyone's time. It certainly was incredible to see the role that women are playing in organizing the tournament, but not just the tournament, what this tournament means for the future of Qatar. We started this discussion by talking about the next 10 years and where we see progress going, not just in the country, but in the region. The US-Qatar relationship is extraordinarily important. Again, we're celebrating not just International Women's Day, but also 50 years of diplomatic relations. So with that, I will wrap up and conclude, and just again say thank you so much for spending your last hour with us. I, for one, am very much looking forward to the tournament and wishing all of the panelists and all of you out there great success. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.